Did you know that the Bible actually warns us about what happens if we become knowledgeable of the truth and still continue to sin? Jesus tells us this in Hebrews 10:26 when he says, "For if we willfully continue to sin after we have received the knowledge of the truth, there no longer remains a sacrifice for us, but a fearful expectation of judgment and fiery indignation, which will devour the adversaries." And this is not the first time that Christ has warned us about what happens when we fall away from our faith. And that's the key thing I want you to realize. This isn't a verse talking about our day-to-day lives where I know the truth, I know Jesus sacrificed, but I go and cuss. That is not Jesus saying, okay, there's no sacrifice for you, you're dead. Because if that was the case, we'd all go to hell. None of us would have the sacrifice. What this verse is talking about is the people who become knowledgeable of the truth, who are aware of the gospel, who are aware that Jesus died for them, and maybe they even accept Jesus into their life, but then they fall away from God and eventually pass away before re-accepting Jesus into their heart. That is who this verse is targeted at, and that is who this verse is directed towards. So if you see people trying to fearmonger you, don't believe them. I am telling you right now that this verse applies to the people who know the truth and fall away and never come back. Now, with that being said, that is not an excuse to continue to live in your sinful lifestyle. That is not an excuse to go out and say, oh, Jesus, he's going to forgive me no matter what. No. Matter of fact, that should wake us up. It should be like, you know what? I need to live like Jesus. I need to be more like Christ. I need to forgive more just as Jesus did, because that's how he wants us to live. And yes, you're going to sin. Yes, you're going to fall every single day because you're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Only Jesus was perfect. And that's why he died on this cross for us. But we do need to make an effort every day to glorify him, to honor him, and to live like him. I love you, and Jesus loves you more. God bless.